Hello there and welcome to Conncast. I appreciate you tuning in. Today I'll be demonstrating how I installed Linux Mint onto an old netbook using a USB drive. This is not becoming a tech channel, but I am in the evangelical honeymoon phase of Linux use, so please bear with me. Plus it'll make your computer more suited to high-speed shitposting and protect you from the Mossad who has Microsoft under their thumb, as we all know. So let's begin. You're going to need a computer, obviously, a flash drive, at least 6 gigabytes, preferably 8, a torrent program like Deluge or Qbit Torrent are my favorites, but it doesn't matter, and some agency. First things first, you're going to want to go to Linux Mint's website and download the torrent link for Linux Mint 17 Cinnamon. This is a few gigabytes, so wait for that to download. While you're waiting, head over to this other website here and download a program called Rufus. This is to put Linux onto your flash drive, and there are other programs of this type, but not all are created equal. I tried 2 of these like a tard before reading up and discovering this one. Rufus is the one that worked for me. If it doesn't work for you, use your agency that I talked about earlier and read up, my dudes. So, you download Rufus and you're probably still working on that operating system, but while you're at it, back up your files. Anything important won't necessarily be lost, but you never know with these evil robots, so there's a lot of ways to do this. I just transferred what I needed onto another flash drive. This computer doesn't have a lot of important documents, so it didn't really matter that much for me, but it may for you. Anyways, after a couple of hours in my case, it could be more for you, it could be less if you live in the first world. I got the Linux Mint and I used Rufus to mount it on a flash drive. It's fairly straightforward. Just plug in your new flash drive and open Rufus to select the ISO and use the default settings. After this is done, leave that shit plugged in and exit everything. Shut down your machine and turn it on again. When the BIOS screen comes up, you're going to want to be a gunslinger and slam that MF and boot settings button. This will be usually one of the function keys, but it could also be escape or delete. Mine was F9, I believe. So switch your boot order, usually the 4th screen to the right on your BIOS, so that you boot the USB first. After you finish that, you're going to get one of those black screens with the blinky line. It will either boot Linux Mint, or if there's an issue, it'll wait and boot Windows. But there won't be an issue. When it boots up, you'll be treated to the master race interface of Linux, plus have instant access to real men software that respects your freedoms, like VLC and GIMP. Sorry, GIMP. Is it GIMP? I don't know. Anyways, you can fiddle around on here until you're ready to install, and if you want it, you can click on the install button, and away you go. The options here are pretty straightforward. You got language, etc., and you'll be able to figure them all out with some agency, as I mentioned earlier. The most important one, if you still want Windows for gaming or your old files, is the partition, which is a click and drag setup. This will reformat your computer to run Linux and still have the option to run Windows if necessary via that boot settings button I talked about earlier. When all that shit's done, you just shut down and turn on again. But keep your trigger finger ready to get to those boot options again and change your boot order to boot Linux Mint first and you're good to go. Thanks for watching. I wish you good luck with Linux. And if you feel compelled to give into my obligatory e-begging, link to Patreon's in the description. Please subscribe for more videos that have nothing to do with this. They're absolutely nothing like this. Thanks for watching.